أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا وإمامنا وقائدنا وقدوتنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين أما بعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Just a quick announcement first, inshallah. There will be a fundraising happening for this musalla on this Tuesday, inshallah. As you may have heard, we need $500,000 for the renovation of the ground floor and the first floor, inshallah ta'ala. The ground floor will be for our brothers, and the first floor will be for our mothers and our sisters, inshallah ta'ala. So as you can see, this year, we cannot facilitate for our sisters and our mothers, but inshallah, hopefully by next year, we'll be able to facilitate for our mothers and sisters, inshallah ta'ala. So, inshallah, on Tuesday, come prepared. Obviously, we're not taking pledges because we need the cash right now to refurbish the interior of this building, inshallah ta'ala. Also, good news, on Tuesday, inshallah, Shaykh Ahmad Rajab from Egypt, the renowned Shaykh reciter, he'll be coming to lead here, inshallah ta'ala. He'll be leading all the 20 rak'ah, inshallah ta'ala, including Isha, Salah and Witr. Now, if you look around, all these different faces, all of us, you find that you can see each one of us are different. Our features, even our dress code, you will see, is different. And if you ask our parents, if you all ask our parents will know some fine details about ourselves, by which they can distinguish us from their own children and recognize us. Some of these differences by which they recognize each of their child is a fragrance. Each one of us has a fragrance that if you go close, if the parents come close, they can smell that fragrance and they can identify you, this is so and so. So it's not only about seeing they can recognize you, but even if they cannot see you, they'll ask you to go close to them, and they'll smell you and they'll say, okay, this is so and so. There is also something else, which if your fathers, you know, and if you ask your parents, they also can tell you about yourself when you're a baby, which is, as soon as your mother and our mother gave birth to us, we recognized our parents through their speeches. From uncles, aunties, we recognize who is our parent, who's our mother, who's our father through their speeches. If you ask your parents, they will affirm this. As soon as your father is to call you or your mother is to call you, you would know, okay, this is my mother, this is my father. Also, when your child keeps growing, even from the crying, you can tell that's your baby crying, that's your child crying. And also, not only that's your child crying, you can even tell this is just your specific child crying. And the more older they get, even though their voices might be very, very similar with their siblings, but you can tell, the parents can tell, this is this child and this is just that child. The point I'm trying to make, every one of us are different, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created us differently from each other. Every single one of us are unique, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created us unique. Every single one of us has special talents, unique skills sets, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created us like that. Why? Because to affirm that there's only one of you, there'll be no other you, as we said before, there'll be no other you after you, and there was no other you before you. In the entire existence of all of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's billions and trillions of creation, there's only one you. There will be no two you ever, ever, ever for eternity. This is it. This is you. Now, from all of this uniqueness we have that distinguishes us and affirms us, there's one special trait that we all have that penetrates the soul. And that is the speech. Speech. You see, the speech you're hearing is from through your ears. And it goes straight to your soul, to your heart. There's nothing else that can uplift you, be very warm to you, make you very, very delightful and joyful and happy than speech you hear from your parents or your spouses or even your children. How did you feel when your child first said Abbu or Ammu? It was speech. You could not wait for the child to grow and say Abbu and Ammu. Speech. How did you feel when your wife or your spouse says I love you? Speech. Even though they're showing with all the actions love, but it's the speech that penetrates the soul. Your parents show you so much love, but as soon as they say, son, I love you. Son, well done. Son, you can do it. Daughter, you're amazing. You're the best daughter. Or son, you're doing great. You'll be okay. Or son, you have lots of patience. Son, you're very forgiving. Son, you're very merciful. Son, you're taking care of us. May Allah reward you. Speech. What does it do to you? It uplifts you. Now, because this speech does this, and Allah is the one who created this in the first place, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made it very clear as well. وَمَا كَانَ لِبَشَرٍ أَن يُكَلِّمَ اللَّهِ إِلَّا وَحْيًا. Allah will not speak to His creation, especially the human beings, except through speech, revelation. Speech, revelation. Because it penetrates the soul. It empowers you, it uplifts you, makes you strong, gives you a vision, makes you structured, gives you an inner framework, makes you lay a path, makes you find your destination, makes you then plan and strategize and walk upon it. Speech does that. It can change your complete character through speech. Your personality, even your behavior, can change it through speech. Now all of us have a voice. Ustad Adam led today. His voice is unique from the rest of the reciters, and the rest of the reciters, their recitation is different from Ustad Adam. Even if you don't see him, you can now know that this is Ustad Adam's recitation through his voice. Now, this is the amazing thing, my brothers. That's the point I'm trying to make in this short nasiha. This voice, ultimately, with this voice, you will be seeing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and you will be speaking to Him. When you see Him, you'll be wowed by the majesty and grandeur and the beauty of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Your eyes, this naked eye, you will see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with this very naked eye. But is that it? No, you'll be speaking to Him with your own voice, this voice. You'll be speaking to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The voice will not change. Allah recognized, the angels recognized Yunus for his voice. It was the tone of his voice. They recognized that's Yunus calling. The voice will not change. But imagine you want to speak with Allah for thousands of years, and you speak to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for thousands of years. What's after that? What is after that? After that, how are you going to bond with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at His level? Or the ultimate level, the way a creation can reach? And as we said, the realm of our physical realm in Jannah is the ceiling of Jannah. Nothing can go above it except what? Quran. So the only thing by which you can bond with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at that very intimate, profound, deep level is when you say, Ar-Rahman, Allama al-Quran, Khalaqa al-Insan, and Allah then recites also. And then you recite back to Allah. Allah then recites, and then you recite back to Allah, and Allah then recites, and then you recite back to Allah, and Allah then recites. He may recite a verse, you may recite a verse. He may recite a surah, you may recite a surah. And this goes on. And this, with the Quran, everything will listen, everyone will listen. This conversation will be listening by everyone. The whole entire creation except the mushrikeen. Except those who are in Jahannam, they're sealed, they will not be able to hear the Quran. So this conversation between you and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be done by your voice that you have now. Now if you beautify the recitation of the Quran now in dunya and get to the peak of your voice, you know, okay, this is my tone, this is my voice, this is the peak level I can get to. And you enjoy that recitation from Surah Fatiha all the way to Surah Nas. You know how you recite Surah Hadid, you know how to recite Surah Baqarah, you know how to recite, which tone to recite Surah Jathiyah. When you go in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah says, recite your favorite surah, recite your favorite ayah. And you recite, Qul Alhamdulillah, Qul Alhamdulillah. You say Alhamdulillah, but you're reciting the kalam of Allah. And Allah then responds to you. How will you be in that kingdom? How will you be? How will you feel? When Allah is speaking to you directly and you are speaking to Him, but not with human conversation. It is through the kalam of He Jalla wa Ala, which He has revealed to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, to the prophets. For that day, for that moment, prepare yourselves. Because there is no assembly greater in conversation than when you are speaking with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone through His speech, and He is speaking with you alone through His speech. That will be the greatest bonding. That will be the greatest, the most profound, the most sweetest bonding. Because you'll be seeing Him and you'll be speaking with Him through His speech. Jazakumullah khair wa barakallahu feekum. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.